Aw, shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celese. And this is season 2 of the Sloppy Book Club.
Yes, and take like 500 of starting this fucking episode.
Of course, I'm like still navigating our tech support kind of thing here, and it's a work in progress. And we've never recorded like audio and video, so this is all new to us, but with the second season, we wanted to, jump outside our box and really put some authentic, cool work together. And we really wanted to make sure we were doing videos within our podcast because we feel like it will reach more people.
And it's more fun.
Yeah. And you get to see us.
You get to see what I get to see when she fucks up.
Which is 90% of the time. So it should be fun. So this is our first episode in season 2. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to be doing, like every episode, we're going to be reviewing a wine. And we wanted to start off this first episode just wrapping up our summer reading list and just talking a little bit about books that we really liked over the summer. Some that maybe we were hoping would be great and they just didn't hit the mark.
Yes.
Or didn't do what we wanted it to, because there were a couple that were like that for me, and I wish some of them were a little bit disappointing. Like, they weren't bad books, they were just, I was expecting a little bit more.
I only had one that I was like, meh.
Really?
The rest were actually pretty good.
I think I have like maybe 2 or 3. Yeah. There were some that just, I wanted more. So it's not totally bad. It wasn't a total miss, but it was just things that I wish there was more of. So again, let's start off with our wines. Jenny, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm definitely going to fuck this one up because I didn't practice. I'm just going to read it because there's like 10 words on it.
Oh, right. God.
Corte Fiore.
Okay.
Marchio Registrato. Lupi Reali. Prodato in Italia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
I already know I'm going to hate it. I don't know, just the way the bottle looks.
It's a really pretty bottle, though.
It's really, actually, I won this bottle at Romancicon over the summer.
How come a little bit clear?
And I was saving it till now.
Hopefully you guys can see it.
It's a red wine. I only like, so far, one red wine. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Angel loves red wine. No, it's not your favorite.
That's extremely bitter. Maybe if it was a little colder.
Gives you tingles.
I have to try it again just in case, but you can go ahead and try yours.
So I'm doing the Stella Rosa Tropical Mango, and I think Jenny did this one already, but in case anyone didn't see it last season.
It definitely sounds familiar, so I'm pretty sure I did.
So Tropical Mango, it was in my freezer, so it's going to be nice and cold, so I'm excited about it.
I'm just going to move this shit because I did not like it, and I don't want to accidentally drink it. Good?
Yeah, that's really good. It's like juice.
Oh my God.
It's juice.
That's dangerous.
It's mommy juice.
I bet it was the one that I tried. It definitely looks familiar.
So Stella Rosa Tropical Mango. It says it's semi-sweet. No, this is sweet.
It looks like it's sweet.
Yeah. No, this is really good.
Well, mine wasn't sweet. So I have a Truly in my little cup here because I knew I wasn't going to like that wine.
No, I like this a lot. That's a problem.
So
it's vegan and gluten-free.
Let's see how far she gets this
because
episode.
As some of you know, I just had a baby, and I haven't been drinking much. So let's see how this goes with just one glass of wine, because you know me, I'm.
Sounds like fun.
It's always fun. I'm going to be slurring my words by the end of this.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to jump into some books that we read over the summer. we're not going to go too detailed into what the books are generally about, but we might talk about the tropes or if there was any, LGBT representation and things like that. Because
you can find most of these on our Instagram.
Yes.
Because we have posted reviews on there. So that's why we're keeping it brief.
Very brief. So if you're not on our Instagram or following us, please do that because we have full descriptions in our captions and bios and things like that. So I'll go first.
Okay.
So the first book that I have some stars. It was Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. It was LGBT.
I was waiting for you to correct yourself.
You see? You see what I mean? LGBTQ plus representation. It had a trans main character. It touched on Latin culture and witchcraft. It was paranormal. Some great suspense. One of the tropes that I really like is the found or chosen family trope, and that was really big in this one. And I just loved, we're both two Latin women with a podcast, and it was just having that authentic representation within the book was really nice too. It had some Spanish dialogue in it. It was really, really good. It was YA paranormal. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. I know he has another series that he's working on, and I think it's like with like gods and powers and things like that. So I'm really
I think I just saw him post about it too.
So I'm not sure if it's already out or coming out, but that's one that I definitely want to give it a try. Now, I love that book. A second great one, and we read this one together, was Every Summer After by Carly, is it Fortune or Fortune?
I was saying Fortune. Don't really know.
Okay, Fortune, I think. This one was a really great one. It was a coming of age story, great beach read, second chance romance. It was friends to strangers, then strangers to lovers kind of thing, because they had like a falling out. It was a dual. No, was it a dual point of view? Did we get Sam's perspective? No, it was.
I feel like it. No,
it was just a then and now point of view. So it traveled through her summers at a lake beach house kind of thing. So it was a then and now point of view. Talked a lot about friendship, family, loss, grief, very small town vibes, and the boy who falls in love first.
Yeah.
So that was... we love this one.
It was a good one. That was a really good book.
That one was like a surprisingly really good one. Like,
I wasn't going to like it.
Right. And I didn't expect to love it. I was just like, I read the description. I was like, oh, this sounds like a pretty good read. And then I was just like, I couldn't put it down. It was so good. And then I think we did a podcast on it. And you were like, I have to read this one. And then you wound up falling in love with it too.
Did. It was really good. So, one of my first ones was A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. It's a romantasy, and there's standalones. I believe there's 3 now, or the third one's coming out next month or something. And it's basically 2 worlds separated by this like magical veil, and it's an enemies to lovers. It's got everything you want in a fun, short standalone that's a fantasy. Pretty good read. And then there's Muscles and Monsters by Ashley Bennett. That's a monster romance.
I have to read that one.
I hear you do. I think you're going to love it.
And then isn't she like dropping another one, Tentacles or something?
Yes.
And now is that going to have, I think that one's going to have some representation too. Isn't it like 2 male characters?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I feel like it's about
2 male characters, but I could be totally wrong.
I don't know. But this one's really cute. You should. It's like a sweet, meet cute monster romance. And it like she describes his tail all the time when he's happy, and it like thud. That's
so cute.
It's really cute. I liked it. It was fun. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you want to go, or do you want me to keep talking?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'll do.
I have a ton of books on here that I read over the summer.
I think she was up to like 27 books.
22. 22 books.
It was 22? I thought it was like 27.
No, 22 books.
I think I only did like 14 or 15. Yeah. I'm on the lower end this year. So my next two, the first one is Until May, by Aurora Rose Reynolds. It's a contemporary romance. It was a comfort read for me for the simple fact that I love her Until series. And this was the newest one that was dropped over the summer. So it's just like a comfort read for me. So if you're familiar with Aurora Rose Reynolds and her Until series, this was the newer one. It had the twists and turns like most of her stories do. It had the steamy romance scenes. It was love at first sight. It had humor. In this particular one, the main character is catfished. It had all that alpha male who's sweet to his love interest, but like hates everyone else kind of vibe. Definitely he's the alpha protector of her. So that was a really good one. My second one was Red Velvet Villainy by Molly Maple. This was a small town mystery layered with clues that had twists and turns and that whole who did it kind of theme. With all the layered clues, you're like, oh, it's this person, but then a twist or a turn will happen and you're just like, okay, it's not that person, so who could it be? So I like that variation. And also, I think this was like book 7, if you remember.
I was just going to say that. Was this the one that you started like book 10?
So I believe this was book 7. I didn't even realize it was like a series. It was just like free on Unlimited Kindle or something like that. And then I was just like, oh, I'll give it a read. And then I'm like, wait, since this is book 7, I read it as a standalone. I'm pretty sure you could read it as a standalone. Obviously, there's little bits and pieces where, you know, they're talking about things that happen, but I was just like, whatever.
Oh my God.
But it was good.
You should definitely try the rest of them to see if they're actually standalones.
Right. You should be like, this chick is crazy. Right? That is not a standalone. But again, it's a small town mystery.
My next one is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is a contemporary romance. It's sapphic, about a woman trying to find herself in life and career and new relationships.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good one. And then we have another monster romance. Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. I absolutely love her. Here? I know. I promise I don't think I have any more monster romances. Maybe
but yours is always like fantasy, paranormal kind of thing. Mine is like contemporary romance. Romance.
I absolutely love Katie Robert. She's one of my favorites. Basically, it's about a human who's sold to a dragon. Not going to go any further than that. There's a breeding kink. It's super freaking spicy. He has 2 penises. Woo. Yes.
Double trouble.
And a tail. Yes.
So basically
2 penises and a tail. Oh my God. Yes.
Those are your 2? Okay. So my next 2 was Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. This was listed as a YA romance. We did talk about this in our podcast where I felt it kind of drifted away from YA because it had a lot of triggering topics. So please read at your own risk. I did like that they had trans representation, LGBTQ plus representation, but it did leave me with mixed feelings. And then even the author kind of like lashed out a little bit because she was getting so much negative press because of her book.
I remember seeing that.
So I don't want to add to that. There were some really great moments in the book, but it did discuss some really hard, tough topics that can be really triggering, especially to those who are questioning themselves. So again, it's something that I would say, please read the trigger warnings or
watch our episode.
Or listen to our episode. Yeah, definitely listen to our episode because I kind of go into it wanting to love it, but also being left with mixed feelings about it. My second one is Her Dark Night. This was a romanticon author, Becca Jones. We got to meet her. She was amazing. Has some morally gray characters. has Alpha, who is sweet to main love interest, extremely triggering scenes, so read with caution. It also has some tough topics as well, especially the scenes in it. So
yeah, I actually had to stop reading this one. Not a lot bothers me. Mm-hmm. It was just like a couple things here and there that I was like, I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I stopped. Mm-hmm. Wasn't a bad book. I just chose to stop.
It's not a bad book, but like some things could just be left to the imagination. Yes. You don't need to go into details on certain things, especially some of the scenes. That was tough.
I kind of want to finish it just because I feel like I feel empty not finishing a book.
Right.
I feel like maybe I needed to take a break from it, but I will go back because it wasn't a bad book and I was enjoying it. It gave like that movie,
Enough.
Yes, Enough with Jennifer Lopez, right? It was very much
in that
like
realm.
that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Like crazy husband, controlling husband, a husband that doesn't listen to the word no if you know where I'm going. So like I said, it could be triggering, so please.
So maybe I'll go back to it. But yes, proceed with caution. And then that brings us to my Romanticon author, Amanda Segrist. Yes. And this was...
We love her.
We do love her. She's so sweet. We read a book by her together in the spring, I believe, or something.
Sweet Darling.
Yeah. Follow Me, Sweet Darling. And then I read The Danger with Love. And it's a mafia romance. It's insta-love, suspenseful, fast-paced, super short. Pretty good read. I'll read more of her books because...
Was this your first, like, mafia romance?
Was it? I don't know.
I don't remember either. But yeah.
I feel like I have read a mafia romance, but this may have been my first. I don't know. Maybe. I can't remember.
Because you don't read a lot of mafia romances. Cora Riley, you're my girl. I read almost all your mafia books, and we got to meet her at Polycon.
Polycon, yeah.
So she was amazing too.
And then the other one is technically a reread for me. I read it a year ago, but I reread it this summer. Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. Everybody knows we love her.
Yes.
She's a YA high fantasy, chosen one, ancient bloodline, typical high fantasy, very Lord of the Rings type book.
Yes. It was, I think even, that's what everyone says. Like, it's kind of in that Lord of the Rings realm.
If you follow her at all, you know she's absolutely obsessed with it. It makes sense.
And I've had it on my bookshelf for a while and haven't read it. And she doesn't understand how I haven't. And
it's just so good. It's like a good, hearty...
It's a hearty book.
Very hearty.
It's a hearty book.
Yes.
But I have both of them now. And now, does the second one leave you with a cliffhanger?
I literally have not started.
Oh, okay.
I've been so busy this summer reading all these books. I couldn't stop to like jump into this huge...
Because the second one is looks
big.
Even bigger.
It's like that thick.
Yeah, it's super thick.
Yeah. So.
But we like thick books. Thick. So my next book is Under One Roof by Allie Hazelwood. She's another person that we met during a Polycon.
Yeah.
Super sweet. This is a romantic comedy. This is from her STEMinist novella series. Because she really talks, all her books have women in STEM. So it's very, her characters are, very into academics and take that extremely seriously. So all her women characters come from STEM. They have some form of job or are in college. And this is, I don't know if this was the first book in the series or the second one, but it's Under One Roof. And I loved it. I love the banter. I love the I didn't even know I was into Grumpy Meets Sunshine, but I loved it. It was a slow burn, forced proximity, enemies to lovers, Grumpy Meets Sunshine. I mean, I just absolutely loved it. I
don't know why I haven't read anything of hers.
She's
Everyone
so good.
loves her so much. I own a book of hers.
With this being part of her, I think it's her STEMinist series. Yeah. Series. So it's 3 books in one, and this is one of the books.
Okay.
Because before you could only find them like on ebooks. She didn't have like books.
So they're
now,
like novelas.
Yeah, they're novelas
together. Okay.
And then now she's gonna have them in book form all in one, which is nice. So I think this one was the first one, but there's 2 more because it's one girl, and then it's gonna be stories of her 2 best friends.
Okay.
So each one of them finding their love interest or whatever.
I guess I'll have to buy it.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I loved it. And she was so sweet. And then my second one is The Roommate Situation by Katie Bailey. It's a romantic comedy. Another Forced Proximity, Friends to Lovers. This one had no spice, but it was so good because it had so much sexual tension, which made it so good. I
love it.
And then it was a dual point of view, and it was the brother's best friend. So yeah, it was so good. I loved it. I really did. The characters are really good. The dialogue and banter was really good. So that was a good one.
Nice. This next one for me is 2 books in one. It's Awaken and Fae Blood by Harmony Han. She's an indie author. It's an adult urban fantasy with chosen one tropes, newfound powers, love triangle, all kinds of magical creatures like vampires, werewolves, fae. There's everything. Awaken is her first book, so you definitely see like the difference in writing between book 1 and book 2.
Okay.
I fucking loved book 2, and I just started book 3, and I'm obsessed already.
Awesome.
Yes, I love it. And then we have Sierra Simone.
You love her.
I love Sierra Simone. She wrote Priest, Sinner, and Saint. Read all 3. I actually listened to all 3 books, and then I bought all 3 books because the audiobooks...
Chef's kiss.
So fucking good. Forbidden romance, obviously. There's religion and sex, none of that goes together. Smut, only cringy thing. In the first book, the main character loves calling the female character My Little Lamb.
Matt. That's all I can think about.
It's fucking awful. I hate it. Now I'm not gonna not think about that.
My Little Lamb.
Oh my god, I hate
actually
it.
A Twilight reference.
Is it really?
Yeah,
No,
the lion meets the lamb or some shit.
Oh my god, well, it's Twilight.
I thought about it. When I think of lamb, I always think of fucking Twilight because there's the lion meets the lamb or some shit.
Okay. Well, anytime I think of lamb, this is what I think of, and I don't like it. But the rest of the books, they're freaking amazing. I loved it. Love the writing. So good.
I wish we knew how to edit because I would put that fucking, what is it, the goat? I don't even think it's the lamb, but it's the goat going meh to the fucking camera. That would be so good. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Do you need me to go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. So my next one is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This was definitely worth the hype. I saw her all over TikTok and Instagram. Tessa Bailey. She was another Polycon author that I got to meet. I don't think you didn't get to. But to me, it was definitely worth the hype. Loved the book. Romantic suspense. Banter. Another Grumpy Meets Sunshine, which is my new thing. Protective hero. Alpha male. Full-on toucher and die vibes. And some super spicy scenes. Now, if you haven't read it, wait until you get to the parking lot scene. I think you need to read it just so you can get to the parking lot scene.
Okay.
Because, what?
Is that good?
What?
Okay.
Girl.
I mean, it's on my list, but it's not anything that I was like, oh, I need to read it.
The parking lot scene and the church scene.
All right.
Both. I was just first of all, in a church, and second, in a parking lot. That was crazy. Anybody could just walk by. But yeah, that was super, super spicy. I loved it.
Okay.
Now, this is one of the books that I wanted to love, that I had very, very high hopes for. It's called The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins, and I thought it was gonna be similar to Every Summer After. It kind of gave me like the same vibes with that then and now point of view, and then friends to strangers trope kind of thing. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna love it, and it just didn't hit the mark for me. But it's a second chance romance, friends to strangers, stranger to lover, then and now point of view, forced proximity, slow burn, dealing with trauma. It had a small little snippet of LGBTQ representation from one of the side characters. And another thing that I have to say is I don't think it needed the spice. I think it took away from the main character's feelings, because how she felt and how she acted just weren't aligning when the spicy scenes would happen. So it just left me a little bit confused. So it's one of the books that I don't think needed the spice. And that's saying a lot for me.
Yeah, because typically it's like, oh, the spice made it way better.
Exactly. And this is in this case, for me, it didn't. And I felt like the main character's judgment on her love interest was too harsh. And I needed more details on the incident that kind of like made them fall apart, kind of, you know. So yeah, it left me wanting more.
Okay.
It just
she made me buy it because she was like, I feel like it's gonna be the same.
I definitely
Let's
did.
compare it.
Yeah, because I
haven't even read it because I'm not going to now. Sorry.
Because I thought it was gonna be the same book, different font, and it just wasn't.
Well, I wanted an ebook. I wish we could like gift people books that we don't want from our Kindle. If there's a way to do that, somebody please let me know.
Trade. What are you doing? Trade books on Kindle.
I have so many books on there that I'm not going to read that I've gotten for free that I'm like, maybe not. And I could just gift them, but I can't.
That would
be
awesome.
I'm not going to return it.
Right. You already bought it.
Yeah.
That would be actually really nice.
We should try to figure that out.
Kindle.
Somebody let us know.
Yeah.
Please.
That's because there's tons of books that I've read and I'm like, I'm okay with giving it away because it was a good read or something. Because when you have Kindle Unlimited, you know, it's almost like you're at the library anyway. You can rent it and then give it back. Why? What if you purchased one? Why couldn't you give it to someone?
And I have a ton that I'm probably not going to get to.
That's actually a really good idea. I like that.
Thoughts? All right. My next one is Layla by Colleen Hoover. And that's a paranormal suspense. It is extremely Verity vibes. We'll talk about Verity later on in this episode. Yeah. But if you read Verity, you'll like this one. It just adds a little bit of paranormal thriller
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I love Colleen Hoover. I really enjoy her books. I know you're hit and miss with her. I remember
romance. I'm not like, man.
I'm from when she wrote the Slam series. And if you haven't read the Slam series, I suggest you do, because that was like one of my very first series that I've read, and I really loved it. I love that. Butterfly You. But yeah. So
okay.
One of the characters, instead of, saying fuck you, she would be like, butterfly you. Like, she did a whole, because Slams was basically like a poetry kind of thing. So one of the little girls, she did a little slam kind of thing at her school against one of her bullies. And she was like, butterfly you, basically saying fuck you, and I loved it.
I wish we had the book so that you could kind of perform for us.
And I remember reading it, and then I did this during Thanksgiving, because in the book, they used to talk about, the peak and the pit of their day. So what was the peak of your day and what was the pit of your day, or some shit like that. And I did that for Thanksgiving one time with my family. I was like, hey, everybody, what's the peak of your day and what's the pit of your day?
Did they look at you like you were nuts?
Yeah, they were like, where the fuck did you get that from? So yeah, Slammed. If you haven't read the series, please do. But yeah, Layla. Okay.
Yes, Layla, Colleen Hoover. And then Sticks and Stones by Santana Blair. It was actually a reread for me this summer. I liked it. It was cute, coming of age, about two different kids. from 2 different lives, one a little richer, one a little poorer, Hispanic, and Black. And it was just like a cute coming of age, and it brings you all the way up until they go to college. I think she's writing the continuation of this series, which I didn't know. And she was another romanticon author that we met this summer. Yeah.
I have another, not a romanticon, but a polycon author, Mia Sosa. We met her and we purchased one of her books.
She was so nice, by the way.
She was super sweet. And we wound up buying one of her books there and getting it signed. And it was called The Wedding Crasher. And I loved it. I am so upset that I've never heard of her before. But she's definitely an author I'm going to be looking out for. She also, it's not a series, The Wedding Crasher, but the characters are connected in another story.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's about. I think it's either her cousin or something, or her sister, and she winds up falling for her ex-fiance's brother, who's the best man at the wedding, kind of thing. The wedding that I'm assuming never happened. But I have to read that one because...
Spoiler alert.
Right. Because The Wedding Crasher was kind of crazy, so I can only imagine that one. Contemporary romance, witty, charming, and spicy. Super entertaining, character dialogue, do point of views, fake dating, one bed trope. Like, I loved it. And then it had like modern dialogue, so it made it more relatable, which I really liked with the characters. So yeah, that was one that was so surprisingly good. Like, I was just like, oh, it looks like it would be a cutesy book, but I didn't realize how much I would love it. And it also has Brazilian, like, cultural representation in it, too.
Nice.
And it has, like, some Portuguese dialogue in it. So that was super cute, too.
That's cute. Yeah. That's still sitting on my shelf. I really want to read it.
I loved it.
And I just...
And then we got the little, like, Post-it cards that go with it.
Yeah,
so, like, you could see what the characters really look like. And it gave more, like, I don't know. I loved it.
I like getting the little art, knowing what the characters look like prior to reading them.
Definitely.
That always helps. Another one I read was These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, book 2. And it's an adult fantasy.
I have to read these too.
Yes, you do, because they're freaking amazing. It's basically 2 kingdoms at war, and a love triangle. She hates love triangles.
I do. It's like, pick one.
Yeah, I know, but it's
so selfish.
Good one. It really is a good one. I think you'll love it. You can look past the love triangle. I promise you're going to love it.
I'm sure I will, but it's just so frustrating, love triangles. Because then you're like, now you're having to pick which one you like more.
And that was like the hardest thing for me too, because, you know, you never really trust people. And you don't really know. And you're just like, okay, who do I like?
Yeah, Victoria fucking ruined love triangles for me because I'm traumatized. Biatch. She traumatized the hell out of me. So anytime you say love triangle, I'm like, is it going to be like that?
Oh my God. She's talking about The Red Queen, by the way. If you haven't read it, please go check it out.
Yes, please
it's amazing. And You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. It's by, oh my God, I forgot the author's name. Akwaeke Emezi. That's the author's name. It's a literary romance, a widow finding herself steamy and messy. That's all I'm going to say about it. It is so freaking good. This is not a book that I would normally read. And it's a good one.
Nice.
Go check it out.
I have Blood Moon by Linda Castillo, I believe it's pronounced. It's a short mystery story from a larger series. Again, I did it again. Like I don't know what's wrong with me.
Do you just like... Here's a book.
Here's a book. I'm going to read it.
Oh my God.
So it's from a larger series about like small town detective who used to be Amish or something.
Okay.
And this was like Blood Moon was about this like mysterious beast that was causing havoc in the town or whatever. And you know, people are trying to, is it beast? Is it really a beast? Is it kids just playing a bad prank or something? And then by the end of it, you're laughing because you're like, really? That's what it was? But it was good. It got me into like the spooky season kind of mood. Super quick read. It was, I think, like 100 pages or something. And then my second to last is Bad Cruise by L.J. Shen. I think it's Shen. It's a romantic comedy, dual point of view, steamy, funny, full of banter, great dialogue. They share one bed, forced proximity because they're stuck on a cruise together. They were friends to enemies, then enemies to lovers. And honestly, so the main character's name is Tennessee. Her family fucking sucked. The town fucking sucked. I hate how they treated her. They could all rot in hell. They called her Messy Nessie because she was like, the town screwed up because she had a teen pregnancy. Please read the book. It's really good.
She's very aggressive. Go read the book.
No, because like Tennessee is, like a single mom. Mm-hmm. I felt like I could, go to her house, have wine with her, shoot the shit with her kind of thing. And then everyone's just being shitty to her. It's not right. Like,
people suck.
They're
a bunch of cunts.
Pretty much. So like you kind of like cheer her on. You're like, okay, she's not gonna screw this up, but then she screws it up. And then you're like, okay, she's not gonna do it.
Okay, but whose fault is it then?
It's not always her fault. Okay. It really isn't. Like one incident, I would have fucking made that same mistake too. So I don't believe she was that messy.
Okay.
But you definitely want to cheer her on and kind of throw your middle fingers up to everyone else. Even to her love interest. He got me mad sometimes. But yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one. Bad Cruise.
Wow.
Check it out.
All right, so I'll just finish up and then we'll go to your last one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, so then Brightheart and Braveheart by Emma Hamm. Did you read Fireheart as well?
No, Fireheart, yeah,
it's
with the dragon,
one, yeah.
right?
We
and
read
the dragon
that together.
in the dungeon. Is that the one? The dragon was like in the dungeon or something?
In the castle, you mean?
But
he had his like hoard and he had like 3 eggs. No?
The dragon one I'm thinking about is, remember she was locked up?
No. That's the young adult dragon one that we read together. Court of Dragons. Yes.
Is that
by
the one?
Frost K. Court of Dragons by Frost K. Not this one. This one's Fireheart by Emma Hamm.
No, I don't think I read that one.
I honestly feel like you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I read book 2 and book 3 this summer. They're adult fantasies, magical creatures. There's like a war between like normal people and royals, pretty much trying to take away from the magical creatures. They basically have to hide their powers and who they are.
Nice.
They're really good. Book 3 is my absolute favorite. I think she did an amazing job with book 3.
Is it a trilogy?
There's 4. I know there's one more coming out, and I don't know when. It's either the end of this year or beginning of 2023.
Okay.
One of those two. But they're really good. Go check them out. Then we have Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. I got an arc for this. It doesn't come out till September 6th or the 13th. One of those two. It's mindless vampire smut.
Ooh.
When I tell you mindless, it's literally smut. Smut. A page of stuff. Smut. A page. Like, it's so fucking good. And I'm not, like, I don't really
Porn in a book.
Yeah. It is. It's so good.
With a little bit of plot.
There is a plot.
With a little bit of story.
There is a plot to it. There's a point to the story. And it's really good. It flows well. It's just, I don't think I've ever read a book that had this much smut.
From like beginning.
Literally the first page.
I love
and there's 3 vampire males
Mm-hmm.
and 1 half
so
vampire.
So she has her, what is it, like harem?
Yeah, but we're not using those words anymore.
We're not?
No, it's why choose.
Oh.
Yes. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But it's why choose now. But yes, it's 3 and 1, and it's actually pretty fun to read.
Nice.
And I think you're really going to like it.
Vampires and smut. I mean,
I know. And I'm not huge on vampires, but this one was really freaking good.
Sounds good.
All right, next one. Ashes Beneath Her by J.R. Erickson. I pulled a U.
You pulled a me.
Yes. It was book 3.
Okay.
But it wasn't my fault. The author sent me the audiobook to book 3.
Oh, okay.
So I made sure. I was like, wait a minute. Can I read book 3 without book 1 and 2? She said yes. You could read them. They're all standalones. The only thing that combines all 8 books, yes, 8, is that it's based around this northern Michigan asylum.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're all like suspense, thriller, mystery, paranormal.
Now, is it the patients within the asylum?
This one was not.
Okay, but some of them are?
This one, I don't know about the other ones, but this one was more of it was the people around, a lot of missing girls, serial killer type book.
Ooh,
and the connection to the asylum was there's a doctor there.
Okay.
And possibly a patient.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. No, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to read the rest of them hopefully this summer, and it was a quick read. Or not this summer, this fall. Then When We Make It by Elizabeth Velasquez. My favorite read of the fucking summer.
I know.
I fell in love with this book so much. It made me cry. It's a young adult novel, and it's about a young girl from New York trying to figure out her life and how she fits into New York and her heritage, pretty much. It is so freaking good.
Is it because she was trying to fit into, like, not like her Spanish side kind of thing? Because
she basically is trying to learn her heritage because she grew up in New York. Okay. So she didn't really know her Puerto Rican family from Puerto Rico. Her dad and her mom split. So she was raised mostly by a single mom. Okay. It basically like us where we didn't really speak a lot of Spanish. Like I grew up speaking only Spanish and then I transitioned to English. And then
I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I was like only English, and I wish I was spoken to in Spanish or had some of that. Like, I could understand bits and pieces of Spanish, but I'm not fluent at all. And it's something that I feel like makes me less, Spanish than everyone else, or Hispanic or Latin, which is something that, it's like,
that's a struggle.
That's a super big struggle.
I 100% understand that. So, you would love this book.
Yeah.
I have 4 versions of it now.
I know. I saw you have, like, the Spanish one.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Spanish version. I pre-ordered the English paperback, the audiobook, and the ebook. Nice. I'm missing one. I'm not going to buy it.
Are you?
I'm fine with the 4 that I have.
No, but it's definitely one I want to
I think you would definitely connect with it.
It's going to make me cry.
Especially because you're from New York. Yeah. So I think
New York weekend. Like, that's like...
You would 100% connect with it.
Yeah. I love that.
My last one. This is an ARC, Ledge by Stacey McEwen. She's actually a book talker. I did not like this book. There were a lot of things that were kind of for me. It's a new adult fantasy. The plot I thought was a really good premise. Like, I thought it was going to be great. That.
Yeah.
The first couple chapters, I was like, wow, this is really, really going to be good. The writing was okay. Like, you could tell, new author. But whatever. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. Like, grammars or, I don't know, whatever.
As long as you get your point across.
Yeah, like, I'm not huge on that. I don't really care. If I can understand the story, I'm fine. Then there was, like, a lot of unusual chapters that didn't really, like, add anything to the book. And then...
Just fluff.
Like, literally nothing. I was like, what happened in that?
So it's almost like, you know how, like, you get into, like, a really big, like, Netflix series or something, and you know how they have those, like, fluff episodes just to make the series longer?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like...
Because books can tend to do that sometimes. Like, have a chapter on something that's really not important.
Which is annoying. Because when I take notes to, like, remember things, I take them chapter by chapter. Oh, so I'll do, like, little bullet points on what I really liked, what I didn't like. There were some that I was like, question mark. There was nothing in there.
Okay.
And then the one thing I didn't really like, there was, like, a part that I felt like could be extremely insensitive or offensive to the LGBTQ community about a character that was kind of portrayed as non-binary and then went ahead and told people or another character that they didn't care what pronouns were used for them.
But it's like if you're non-binary and you don't want to be constructed to that, why is it okay for this character to be the one to be like, you're, you know, he or she or something like that?
Yeah, it was like just don't call me man or woman, but just for the benefit of our friendship, you can say he. And I was like, no. That there was a little more to that, but that was like the main one where I was like, don't really like it, sorry.
Right.
So that was it. That was my last one.
My last one was one that you read a while ago, but I never got to read. And it was Verity by Colleen Hoover, and I got to read it this summer. And what a mind fuck was that?
Yay!
I mean, by the end of the book, I was like, what? Like, my jaw hit the floor. I'm looking at Angel like, what the fuck did I just read? And then I'm trying to explain it to him. Obviously, like, my mind is going like a million miles an hour, and I'm trying to explain it to him, and he's just like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
Because it was just like so crazy. It was just so crazy. I don't want to give any spoilers to this book because I feel like it would take away from the suspense.
You have to go in blind.
Yeah, the suspense, the thrill. Like, I don't want to even mention like anything about it because it's just like, I don't want to ruin it for anyone. Like, this is such a good mindfuck book that it's like you have to go in blind. You can't read a review. You can't listen to a podcast. Like, please, if you ever hear the word Verity, the book Verity, just pick it up, read it, and then form your opinion.
Yes.
Because going into it with other people's opinions, you're not going to get the same thrill.
Right.
So that was my last book.
I think it was a great one.
I think it's a great way to end like the summer and my reading because it was.
I wish I could reread it for the first time because it was just that good. I recommend it to literally anybody who says, what do you think I should read? Have you read Verity?
Yeah, especially it being so suspenseful. Yeah. Like, I was even scared at some points. Like,
I knew you would.
Like, I was like, like the banister.
Oh yes.
I was like, what?
I totally get that feeling because I was actually driving when I was listening to that part.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to listen to that. Like, was the person who read it like spooky sounding?
It was so good.
I couldn't.
It was one of those that I listened to it, bought the book right away.
This was a book that like I really like visualized, and I was in it with the character trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, the whole time you're like that.
Yeah, like it was spooky. Yeah. Like for a book to spook me, like that book fucking spooked.
Great.
Like at one point, I remember I'm on the couch and I'm reading that particular scene, and like I put the book down. I was like, what the fuck? Because I have stairs right there in my next to my couch, so I'm like, ooh. It was spooky, like. But that was a really, really good book. I loved it.
She's actually re-releasing it in hardcover
with an added like
10,000 words.
10,000 words? To me, that's not one chapter.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that.
I didn't pre-order it.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
I'm broke, you guys. All these books. And then, purchasing tickets for PolyCon next year and stuff. So we definitely will be there next year. Yes. We didn't get like the tier 1 kind of thing. But we did get deity tickets. We did get the pass for Friday. So if that's something we wanted to do. So we'll definitely be there. I'm hoping for better things next year. I'm hoping some of those kinks are fixed, but I'm excited for it.
I am too.
I enjoyed it.
Saturday for us was great. Yeah. It was hot, busy, and crazy, but it was great. And we got to meet a lot of great authors. So
we got to see everyone we wanted to, essentially.
Yeah.
I just say plan. Like, go in with your must-sees, and then go from there.
Agreed.
But yeah, that was all my books for the summer. Hopefully this was a good wrap up for you guys. So if you haven't been on our Instagram and haven't seen like any of our reviews of these books, it'll make you want to go and pick up one of them, because we read some really great ones this summer. I have some new favorite authors, and it was like really good.
Yeah, we had a good summer.
We definitely
good
did.
Summer read. All right.
And really try this Stella Rosa Tropical Mango. I drink it all. It was really, really good.
It's sweet.
It's sweet.
It's the same one I tried. I don't want to try it right now.
It's definitely really... Well, she'll try it off camera. It was really good. It was really awesome. But yeah, so that was a wrap up of our summer. Do you want to briefly talk about what to expect for the coming weeks?
Yeah,
or
so
for this particular season?
I think we're going to plan on doing bi-weekly episodes just to give people more time to read with us.
Yes.
So I think we're going to post sneak peeks on what we're going to read next, and hopefully you'll get to them before we post an episode so you can listen along at the same time. So we'll do that for now, and then from then on we'll reassess.
Right.
And hopefully do some more episodes.
Yes. And, you know, we're shooting for bi-weekly, but if it happens that we do 3 episodes in a week, then we do 3 episodes in a week. But we wanted to make sure we're giving great content out. We really want to give you guys time to read the stories that we're going to be talking about, and giving you that time and that grace to do it, so that we could kind of have that dialogue in between, and you could like comment what you loved about the book or what you didn't, and you know what you're expecting, especially if it's a series, because we love series here. So yeah, we really want to make it more of a community and something that you guys can join us in.
Yes. So our next episode 2, we're actually going to talk about Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber.
I'm excited for that one.
Yes, it's a YA new adult, I think more YA fantasy. So that'll be our next episode. Start reading it and tune in.
Yeah, tell us what you think about it too.
Yes.
Because she is coming out with book 2.
Yes.
Later this month.
Of Never After or something like that.
I think it's releasing sometime in September.
It's this month.
Yeah, this month. So we're excited about that.
Yes.
So read it. Read book 1 so you know what we're talking about, and then you can tell us what you're thinking too. And what you think 2 is going to be about. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited.
I'm excited to talk about that. We haven't discussed the book together yet, so I'm excited to do that.
Yes.
But again, thanks for listening.
Yes, bye.